Hey, yo, man. What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Alright. Who's ready for some football? Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's get into this, shall we? Okay. So, I really enjoyed doing what I did last time when I did my NFC East debate, who's better, Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts, or who's better, CeeDee Lamb or AJ Brown. I really enjoyed that. So, okay. Nonetheless, I really enjoyed that. So, I decided that I wanted to do this. So we have Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning, which, by the way, in this photo, it looks like they're leaning in. It looks kind of suspect because it looks like they're leaning in for a kiss. But that's neither here nor there. But let's get into these. Get into this debate: Brady versus Manning. Okay, so basically, I'm on Peyton Manning's side. Basically. Okay, so basically, Manning's side on this. All right, I'm going to be on the side of debating why Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady. All right. Now, obviously, this would be a whole lot more exciting if actually was having an argument against somebody else. But nonetheless, this is the debate that, I still feel like a lot of people, still continue to talk about. So I wanted to say why Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady. So let's go look at their numbers, their stat comparisons. Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning stat comparison. Peyton has had 7 4,000-yard passing seasons compared to Brady 1 apparently. I don't know when this was made, but this was clearly made at a earlier, date. Payne has thrown 25 or more touchdowns in every season he has played in the NFL. Brady has done it only 4 times. Brady's career quarterback rating is an impressive 92.2. Peyton's is even more outstanding, 94.2. But nonetheless, this is their stat comparisons. Let's go look at their actual career stat comparisons. Okay, so basically I didn't want to go off of, we know what Tom Brady's numbers are. Okay? We already know. We know what his numbers are, but I wanted to actually go over his average. I want to compare their averages because it's not fair to Manning that Brady played 100 years in the NFL while Manning retired after 18. All right. It's not his fault that Brady played for a very much longer time. So he kind of basically at this point was inflating his stats to surpass Manning. So I just want to go look at their numbers. Brady in his NFL career averaged 266 passing yards per game. Averaged a 97.2 career passer rating. His touchdown percentage is 5.4, almost 5.5. This is his touchdown percentage. His interception percentage was 1.8. We all know that Brady took more care of the ball than Manning did. Manning was more of a gunslinger compared to Brady. I'm not saying that Peyton Manning was a gunslinger, but he did take more of the gunslinger approach than Brady. Brady took care of the ball a much more better way than Manning did. Manning has understand that Manning has two 20 interception seasons to his resume to Brady's 0. So I will give that to Brady, that Brady did take care of the ball better than Manning, had fewer turnovers than Manning. But what I'll give Manning credit for is, his numbers as far as his touchdowns and yards. Let's get to that. Okay, so Manning in his NFL career averaged 270 passing yards per game in his NFL career. Had a 96.5 career passer rating, but of course, the injuries. I mean, not the injuries, the turnovers kind of, make that happen. And people forget that Peyton Manning missed a full season of his NFL career due to a neck issue, which had he have not missed that year, his numbers would be even larger. Manning in his NFL career made the Pro Bowl 14 times. To Brady's 15. Brady does actually have more Pro Bowls than Manning, but if we were to go off of their, MVPs, and Pro Bowls at the time that Manning retired, then Manning had 5 league MVPs to Brady's 2. And when you can be honored with the award of being the most valuable player of the NFL 5 times compared to another guy's 2, I think that helps your case. Unfortunately, for Peyton Manning, he also had an NFL record 13 playoff defeats. All right. But at the same time, understand that you got to make the playoffs enough times to have a record like that. And he still, had, 14 playoff victories as well. Here's the thing. People kind of overrate some of Peyton Manning's losses. I will go over some of his playoff losses that I will put an asterisk on as far as why I probably wouldn't blame Peyton for that loss. Let's go over Peyton's first playoff loss of his NFL career. Now, I understand that his numbers himself weren't very good. All right, he completed 19 of 42 for 227 yards. He did not put the ball in harm's way. I would like to point that out. But understand, Steve McNair completed 13 of 24 for 112 yards. All right. And they won the game. You want to know why they won? Because Steve McNair all right, rest in peace, and Eddie George combined for 197 rush yards on the Colts defense. Eddie George, in particular, 26 carries for 162 yards, including a 68-yard rushing touchdown that basically slammed the door shut on the Colts' chances of still winning that game. So that's what happened in that game. Let's go over his second playoff loss. In Manning's second playoff defeat, he completed 17 of 32 for a $194, a touchdown, and 0 interceptions again. And had a slightly better rating this time with an 82. But you notice how once again, quarterback the opposing quarterback, his opponent that he played, once again didn't have to play incredible for them to win the game. Understand, Jay Fiedler completed 19 of 34 passes for 185 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Peyton outplayed Jay Fiedler, and I know that's not saying much, but Jay Fiedler played horrible, and Miami still won the game. Why? Because Because the Colts defense gave up 258 rushing yards to the Miami Dolphins, including Lamar Smith, who carried the ball 40 times. We'll never see anything like that ever again. For 209 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, including the game winner in overtime. I forgot to point out another thing. This man right here, Mike Vanderjagt, missed a field goal at the end of regulation when Peyton Manning put the Colts in position to win that game, and Mike Vanderjagt missed it to the left. So if he makes that field goal, then Indianapolis advances to, I believe, face the Oakland Raiders the next week. But they lost. So, because this guy right here decided that this is a time that I am going to miss a field goal that will advance my team to the next round. That's what this guy did. I don't know if very many people know this, but in the 2004 AFC divisional round game between the Patriots and the Colts, Manning was playing an elite defense led by Bill Belichick. All right. And not only that, he already had that on his plate. All right. But he was also going up against the harsh elements of the snow in Foxborough. And not only that, but also his defense gave up 210 yards rushing, all right, to the Patriots. And it was basically all Corey Dillon, basically. But nonetheless, their run defense was horrible. They were absolutely horrible at this time. They could not stop the run. I could go on forever about all the some of the playoff losses that Manning has unfortunately taken that I can explain why it's not his fault. But we got to go on to another topic. So, basically, throughout Peyton Manning's NFL career, he never had the best defenses. All right. I mean, understand in 20 understand that the both times that Peyton Manning broke the single season touchdown pass record in 2004 with 49 touchdown passes and 2013 with 55 touchdown passes, his defense was ranked 19th in the NFL in scoring. And I just want to clarify, I am a person who cares more about scoring defense than yardage defense. Because at the end of the day, the game is about who scores more points or who gives up fewer points. It's about point. It's about scoring. So I've always been more of a scoring guy. Like I said, they were 19th in scoring defense in 2004 and 2013. And that's not even discussing the fact that in 2004, his defense was ranked 29th in yardage defense. And in 2013, his defense was ranked 25th in yardage defense. What I'm trying to say is his defense was horrible. All right. His defense was absolutely horrible. All right. All right. Let me just go over some of his defenses. In 2003, they were ranked 20th in scoring defense. In 2004, they were ranked 19th in scoring defense. In 2006, which y'all just love to crap on Peyton Manning about, saying that, oh, he won the Super Bowl that year and this was obviously in his prime. This was obviously in his prime and not his second Super Bowl, and he played like garbage during that playoff run. His defense won him that Super Bowl. I don't think y'all give him enough credit for what he did that season. Okay? His defense was ranked 23rd in scoring defense, 21st in yardage defense. Oh, by the way, his defense was dead last in stopping the run. Teams were just running the football on them. All right? And Manning knew that if I wasn't on top of my game every single week, we're going to struggle. All right? So that's what he had to deal with. All right? I know postseason is what counts, but understand they wouldn't have been in that situation without what Peyton Manning did that regular season. 31 touchdown passes to 9 interceptions with over 4,200 passing yards and carried them to a 12-4 record. All right, AFC South champs. But this was by no means fully on the defense why they had that Super Bowl run that they had. This was by no means we're not finna sit here and just not credit Manning for what he had to do to carry them to that 12-4 record and give all the credit to the defense. We're not finna just do that right now. So yeah. And then in 2009, when he got them to the Super Bowl against the Saints, their defense was solid. I think they were like 10th in scoring, but their defense was like I think they were like 10th in scoring, but they were living off of takeaways. If they weren't getting takeaways, then the other team was scoring. All right. The other team was going to score points more than likely. All right. Let me now go over to Tom Brady. Tom Brady in 2001 had the sixth best scoring defense in the NFL. They won the Super Bowl over the greatest show on turf. In 2003, he had the number one scoring defense. Nobody gave up fewer points than the Patriots defense in 2003. In 2004, they still had a sick defense, second in points allowed. In 2006, they had the third best scoring defense in the NFL, who Peyton Manning had to get by in the AFC title game to beat them to go on to the Super Bowl, by the way. You see, people love to give that Colts defense all the credit for Manning's Super Bowl run with the Colts in 2006, but Brady put up 34 points against that same defense y'all want to deride all the time and whatever, and not want to give Manning the credit. So, yeah. All right. By the way, let me go over some of Tom's worst defenses in his NFL career. For Tom Brady, his worst defenses in 2002, they were 17th in scoring. In 2005, Tom Brady's defense was once again ranked 17th in scoring. And guess what? The last time he would ever have a defense outside of the top 10 was in 2011 when they were 15th in scoring. Understand that all of Tom Brady's worst defenses were still better than Peyton Manning's worst defenses. Peyton Manning took one of his worst statistical defenses in his NFL career in 2013 for the Broncos and took them all the way to the Super Bowl, where unfortunately it all came crashing down. All right, but still, he took them all the way to the Super Bowl with that terrible defense. Do you want to know the statistics of that 2013 Broncos defense? Let me show you. Oh, my apologies. They weren't 19th. They were 22nd in points allowed in 2013. They gave up almost 25 points a game. Yardage defense, which again doesn't really matter normally to me, they were 19th in yardage defense. That was statistically probably Manning's worst defense. Well, probably second only to his 2004 defense that was 19th in scoring and 29th in yardage defense. This was statistically his worst defense, and he took them all the way to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, with his worst statistical defenses, in 2002, 17th in scoring defense. They didn't make the playoffs. In 2005, they were 17th in scoring defense, lost in the divisional round to the Denver Broncos, who, by the way, had a third-ranked scoring defense that year. In 2011, he took them all the way to the Super Bowl, all right, and lost to Eli Manning and the Giants. Okay, all right, I'll give you that. But overall, Manning has actually done better with worse defenses. He has taken his teams further than Brady has done. Because in 2003, he had a bottom 5. In 2003, In 2003, he had a bottom 10 scoring defense and took them to the AFC Championship game. In 2003, he had a bottom 5 scoring defense and took them to the AFC divisional round. All right. In 2013, he had a bottom 10 scoring defense and took them all the way to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, with a few mediocre defenses, missed the playoffs, divisional round, playoff loss, Super Bowl. Okay, I'll give him that. But what about those other times where he couldn't even get them to the playoffs or couldn't make it past the divisional round? Peyton Manning has taken his teams further with less than Tom Brady. What else do you need me to say? All right? And understand, here's what people are going to say. Manning had better receivers. Oh, so I guess Tom Brady did not have arguably the best wide receiver in the history of the NFL in Randy Moss, where they went 18-1 in 2007 and still had productive years even after that. Understand, I think Manning made Reggie Wayne. Peyton made Dallas Clark. Peyton made Julius Thomas. Peyton made Eric Decker. Remember, Eric Decker went to the New York Jets, and what did he do there? He didn't do diddly squat, did he? Oh, that's a shame. Tom Brady had Rob Gronkowski for damn near half his NFL career, and those were his best seasons. Like, you cannot tell me that Manning didn't do more with less compared to Tom Brady. And you know what? I'm going to make one more last argument before I get out of here, because this video is getting kind of long. The NFL draft. Tom Brady was picked 199 in the NFL draft in the 2000 NFL draft. Peyton Manning was picked number 1. And it wasn't like he was picked number 1 in a lackluster NFL draft. No, he was in a draft that had Charles Woodson, Hall of Famer, Randy Moss, Hall of Famer, Greg Ellis, not a Hall of Famer, but was a solid player. These are the guys that were in that draft. All right. These were the guys that were in that draft, and he was picked number 1 overall. And I think y'all get it confused. When you are the number 1 pick, you have high expectations. People expect a lot out of you. And if you don't live up to those expectations, they'll be ripping at you. Peyton had so much pressure on him, all right? Not only being a Manning, but the fact that he was number 1 overall, just like his dad. Tom Brady, nobody expected much out of him. He just had to go out there and prove himself, all right? No one actually expected this pick 199 to actually become one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, if not the greatest. All right? So that is my last argument that I wanted to say for Peyton Manning on why he's better. He's better because he's also been able to strive with more pressure on him. with that being said, that has been my time. Like, subscribe, comment down suggestions of videos y'all want me to react to, and also comment down what y'all's opinion is on how y'all felt about this video. With that being said, peace.